we are all talking about the sharing of human experience. All your paths have brought you to voice.
Voice is an incredibly intimate format. The information density that voice provides is incredibly rich. I also think you have a little bit of this hangover from text messaging. Right now, texting has become this incredibly transactional medium. Voice isn't a perfect format, but when I think about the evolution of what has been created over the last decade, it's unbelievable.
Each of you has pursued dynamic professional journeys across all forms of communication. Can you pick one format that you've learned the most from and just share a few quick insights on consumer behavior?
I think the one that's most interesting and most top of mind right now has got to be podcasting. When you think about it at its essence, it's really an old form. The technology is new, the delivery is new, but the notion of people telling stories, it's probably the oldest form. This whole notion of sharing one's experience in a narrative form has just kind of blossomed, and it's a massive business these days.
Podcasting has many lanes, and we're still figuring out what they are. 5 years from now, when podcasting is a much bigger industry, and believe me, it's my bet that it will be, we need to have experimented enough to know what our play is. Scale isn't everything. Not every podcast needs a huge audience. What every podcast needs is a strategy, or else it's not worth doing. What you need to know is who's the audience I want to reach, what does that audience need, and how do I need to serve it to them?
Podcasting, voice, all of this stuff is going to morph into a very simple consumer experience where all of us will look back and say, what were we doing 10 years ago? This is already happening in China in spades. China sends somewhere upwards of 14 billion voice messages a day. When you think about the data, this is coming, and it's coming fast.
All the crises that we are experiencing in this time has resulted in social distancing, which can obviously be emotionally distancing. During COVID, a surprising thing happened. People turned to the telephone to stay in touch.
The power of voice is also not just the human element, but the multimodal aspects of it. You can do so much. You can go mountain biking, you could take a walk, you can be trying to manage the kids' homework with one AirPod in, and I think there's very few formats that allow that sort of flexibility.